Hey, what's up? Um, I'm your host for this stream. I know Bobby is in his vacation. Uh, Sarah is busy as usual, so I decided to make this stream. Because we just got a press conference. We just saw the bye week. The Chiefs did their voodoo magic just to save their asses again. And let's just say that we're disappointed on the Browns. Why? Well, it's the Browns, so why not? In any case, today's presser with Harbaugh, a bunch of nothing. And for some reason, I still don't understand why Lamar just doesn't take the lanes. I mean, he said that developing routes, but dude, if you say you don't listen to the critics, then why don't you use your legs? Like your mom said. Hey, Mike. Hey, Chris. What's up? So, let's get back into business. Let me put the link on it. Just let me see if I can share this. Settings. Give me a minute, as I haven't used this in a while. How do I share this? Yeah, there it is. Invite, copy. There we go. Chris, Mike, if you can share this on, I don't know, Twitter, on the Twitter space. But hey, if you want to come in, there's a link. So, my thoughts on what happened this weekend, just before everybody starts hopping in. A bunch of surprises in the way of, I never thought that the Dolphins would have Doc. Oh, I understand, Chris. Don't worry. Mike can. So, but yeah, a lot of dog in their fight, even though they're down. I don't think they're going to survive the playoffs. Even if the Dolphins make it to the playoffs somehow, I don't think they're going to survive. So it's useless football. Thanks, Mike. The Bills falling to the Rams, and I think Sarah in the vault pointed out very well that, hey, for as much as Josh played well, but there was parts that he didn't play well, so the blame also falls on him because of two drives, stalling. And Shannon Sharp, I still don't understand Shannon. It's like, Shannon, please explain. Is that if Lamar plays well, but at the end of the day he loses the game, you blame Lamar. But if Josh Allen does the same, you're praising Josh Allen. So what gives? It's like, just say it. It's like you expect more from. Well, I don't know. I mean, you got the easy road with Josh, but the road with Josh should be harder because he hasn't had an MVP. Yes, a double standard, Chris. Always a double standard. It's like Josh should be criticized more because he has done a lot of things and still no MVP. Lamar has done a lot of things with less than what Josh Allen had, and he has won 2 MVPs. So I should criticize Josh more because he has more tools early on and no MVPs. And if you want to say, oh, well, the playoff record, dude, Josh Allen went toe-to-toe with Mahomes at his best, and Allen lost at his best against Mahomes. For some reason, Lamar hasn't gone to his max level in order for him to actually beat Mahomes in the playoffs. even in the regular seasons. It's like why Lamar doesn't play at his best against Mahomes. I don't know. Is it the Peyton Manning Brady effect? Peyton Manning somehow didn't play to his strengths when playing Brady. It was always something holding him back. And the time that he beat Brady on the playoffs in the AFC Championship, he played his game, and they won, and they go on and win the Super Bowl against the Bears when the Bears were contenders for Super Bowl. You remember that era? When the Bears were good, when they were not trash. So yeah, that's double standard. I don't know if Harbaugh. Oh, well, let's just finish the thought on Lamar. I don't know if Lamar has gotten his brains, fixed on, hey, I gotta take the lane if nothing is developing, or just take the lanes. It's like, I understand you want the routes to develop, but just take the lanes, and that alone will create a threat. It's like, oh, we gotta send another one on the box because he can take off and he can do us damage, even if it's just 5-6 yards. It's like even if that little of a yardage, just go and run Lamar. That's it. Why? Because that creates a threat. It's like, oh, a reminder he can escape. He can escape. It's like, even if it's just, let's say you scramble, and every time you scramble is 3-4 yards, but at least those 3-4 yards in their heads during the game is like, he can run, he can pop up one. So they start to, not two safeties. It's just down, 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 and then the routes can develop faster, and you can throw it, and there's no issue. It's just like Cam Newton said, just be you. Don't try to think that you're just a throwing quarterback. You're a dual threat. You run and you pass. Yes, there's a balance that you have to figure out, but if you start running, guess what? By the third quarter, they're going to send one down to the box, and then you can throw it all over the field. And Say can run and catch it. Bate can run and catch it. Likely Mandrews. Hell, even Deontay, if he, puts his ego aside and just focuses on winning the ring. Because winning the ring is actually a team effort. And if he's with his ego of just me, I'm sorry. It's like, for as much as talent as you are, you cannot work in a team with it if you don't have the mentality. So that's my thoughts on the overall team. On Harbs, we all saw a bunch of nothing. I think he needs to just dump that bully mentality. That bully mentality is not working. It worked in an era where you could hit with a helmet, where you can still hit hard and there was no flag. Nowadays, no. It has to change that philosophy. Everybody knows that once you punch the bully doesn't respond. And that's always been the case in Baltimore. And when that happens, Harbs panics. They drop the game plan and they don't adapt. They have the talent to be versatile, but they don't use it to adapt to the situations once they get punched. So that's coaching. And at the end of the day, that's coaching. If you're teaching your players, hey, be bullies, like, no, don't be bullies. Be a fighter. A fighter gets punched, gets kicked, gets grappled, gets tossed. Be a fighter. Be adaptable, be versatile, be a fighter, not a bully. Bully football does not work in this new era. Fighter football always works. Why? Because the fighter adapts and it's versatile on what it does. Plain and simple. And the best example, Lamar Jackson. So those are my thoughts. Harbs needs to change that philosophy. And if he can't, I know I'm saying it, I said it as a joke in a sense of way, but hey, if the EDC makes the call, I will 100% step up. I may not be qualified. Hell, I might be the guy not at the end of the bar, but outside of the bar. But I will gladly take it to just change the mentality. No bully football, fighter football, adapt and be versatile. That's the new league. Look at what the Chiefs are doing in a sense of way. Yes, they're very vulnerable, but they're fighting with everything they have. Their talent is not limitless. Their talent has a limit, and we are seeing the ceiling right now because they're stopping it. But because they have enough talent to be versatile, they can do those street ball plays and get out of it miraculously. But still, it works because they're fighting. They're not being bullies, and that's the problem with teams trying to take down the Chiefs. They're trying to be bullies against a fighter. You don't do that. You fight. And anyways, if you want to join in, I'm gonna drop the link again, just to be sure. Mike, if you want to hop on and say your thoughts, man. I don't know if they put over here. Yep. All right. If you want to hop on, you can hop on. You still working? Oh, well, don't worry. You don't have to be in camera, man. You don't have to put the camera. We just need the audio. But yeah, I don't know. If you got any thoughts, you can just type them. Same with you, Chris. Hey, work can be a bitch. We all know that. Let me send the link to everyone about the stream. Hey, put it again. There we go. Let's see. Who do we have? All right. So I would like to hear your thoughts. Mike, in the chat, you just type them. I can read them over here. We can have a discussion on it. Because, damn, we need. I think it's not that we need to demolish the. Hey, Hey, you can hop in if you want to. There's a link. Right now I'm the new Bobby. So until Bobby returns from his vacation, I figured, hey, just let's make a stream, discuss not only this bye week, but our thoughts in general on what needs to be changed from this bye week onwards. Because making it to the playoffs, yeah, it's a guarantee, but is it going to be a road to hell, or is it going to be a road to glory? So we'll see right now. So, I'm just here waiting. There's a link on the chat. Let me try to pin it. Hey, pin message. All right. In the pin message, there's a Jabble. All right. Oh, your laundry. Okay. Yeah. Tends to happen. All right. Any thoughts that you have? Just you can type in or you can just join in. I don't require a video, of the face, like Bobby. So just let me know. Just let me know your thoughts. So what do you think, Jabbo? Mike? I think Chris. Type it in on the comments if you want. If you want to hop in, there's a link. Just let me know. Oh, speaking about wide receivers, I just remember. My thoughts on the game. Um, to be honest, I don't just want to beat down the Giants. I want them to actually be themselves, not as in Harp's philosophy of bully, but more so, you know, what I've been preaching, being a fighter, fighter football. And I think for as much as the Giants is a game to get right, I feel the Giants they have nothing to lose, so they can spoil the Ravens. You know, they can fight their asses off against us, and Harbaugh is going to be surprised. Why? Because he plays bully football. Bully football does not work. You punch the bully does not respond. If you play fighter football, hey, there's the answer. Um, so yeah, it was like if we played to the competition, we're gonna lose. It's like they there has to be a point where Lamar takes over the team during the game and say, we're gonna do this my way and we're gonna win it my way. Because the moment that Lamar says that to his players, the moment he tells Harps, no more bully football, no more your philosophy. I'm trying to win however I can. That is a fighter mentality. That is adaptability and versatility showcasing. That's what I want to see in this game. Lamar stepping up, not only through his actions of just taking off when he needs to, but also telling his players, you know, stating it, hey, we're going to do this to win. I don't care what the coach said. We're winning this game because we have to. Because at this point, I understand what Sarah said, you know, the playoff picture, that the Ravens still control their own destiny. But I don't feel like it. Why? Because of Harb's bully football. That's not going to work. Right now is demolish the Giants with everything you have to get everything humming. And then you go and beat the Steelers. Yes, they're coming over here, but still, adaptability and versatility. That's what it's going to take. And that's what I want to see. Answering your second question, in Javo, that's what I want to see about the team. Do they have fighting spirit, not of a bully, but of a fighter? So, what's it going to take? I think it's going to take, sadly, but we don't want to, it's going to take Falalele down. Falalele has, that's the only way that I see it. Because they're thinking about, oh, Falalele is very big. Yeah, but big doesn't translate to the O-line talent. It's like he has enough, but he's not there to be a starter. I think Cleveland even though he doesn't have the size, but what little we have seen on tape on him of guard, he has worked. He has worked, and la 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 la. Yeah, yeah, he's being soft. He needs to be um he needs to be aggressively smart. Let's put it that way. He needs to be aggressively smart with his technique, not to be just aggressive, but aggressively smart. And I think that's what's lacking from him. And about Voorhees, it's just health status. I think they're trying to save him, but at this point, if he doesn't get at least a few reps during the game, we're never gonna see him being productive on the playoffs. Which at this point, I would do what Brian Billick. You know, I will pull a Brian Billick and say, there's going to be a fine if you mention the P word, because do you really deserve to say the P word? Do you really deserve to say that you're going to be in the postseason? with how have you been playing as a general collection, not just the offense, but also defense, special teams, coaching, general managing in a sense of way. Uh, not because of Deontay or is it Travis? Yes, I think it's Travis. If not, you can correct me. But there's a lot of things that need to be addressed and introspected because if you knew the O line before the season, that's one of the things that I think everybody criticizes EDC. And we deserve, as a fandom, an explanation of if you knew the O line was going to be this green. Yeah, Tre'Davious. Yeah, Tre'Davious White. But yeah, we have to ask EDC if you knew that the O line was going to be weak this year, then why didn't you do the enough moves to actually ensure that we don't have that problem all the way through the season? Because there's been moments where the O-line plays fine, but most of the time, holding, false start, illegal block in the back, man downfield. Even though it was attributed to Pancake Pat, but tripping. If you knew that your O-line was going to be weak, why you didn't make the move? You know, I know it's going to cost us draft picks, but right now it's now or never. It's like there's some moments that you have to look down. It's like now or never in this first year of Derrick Henry because the next year is voidable. So if Derrick Henry decides to retire all of a sudden in the second year of his contract with the Ravens, you don't have running back power. There's no one in the draft that's coming out of college that has that kind of production. There's not going to be a running back with that power next year available if he retires. Not even in the draft, not even in free agency. Why? That's one. I just questioned why. I'm not saying that he's a bad manager. I'm just asking questions. Why this? Why not this? And we want answers. It's like you might think that we don't understand. We understand because, yes, we might be fans, but we have jobs. And having a job to pay the ticket or paying the merchandise that you're giving us means that we understand somewhat about businesses. So if you at least explain to us, hey, I didn't have enough cash or they wanted too much capital of the draft in order for me and to get an O-line, it's like, okay, we understand. Just tell us why or why not. That's it. It's not a hard answer. Yes, there might be fans judging you and criticizing, but at least you let us know why or why not. Am I right? It's just as simple as that. So, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed. And I don't know. This Giants game is going to tell us a lot. It's going to tell us a lot, not just players, but coaches. If we lose in the playoffs, or even if we don't make it to the playoffs, let's say if, but I don't think so because Lamar and Henry are poised to just get that ring. However, but if coaches, don't pull their part, there's so much a coach can do to hurt than to help. And that's one of the things that I think this new era of players that we're seeing, Lamar type, Josh Allen type, Mahomes like, we're seeing it with Jayden Daniels. We're seeing it A little bit here and there with Caleb in Chicago when he's trying to win the game, but coaches being coaches. uh, I think Bryce Young tried to do that last year, and then this year it's just he's given up. White flag, because it's not just the players; it's the coaches. The organization itself is not helping him. So I don't know about that part. We'll make the playoffs, but we won't go far. Yeah, I agree. 100% agree. And hey, it's all dependent on whether Harbaugh lets Lamar play his style of football, because we saw Lamar's style of football. If you all remember the comeback of the Colts in 21, that was all Lamar. I didn't see a gasp of Chiro. I didn't see Harbaugh saying, "Hey, Lamar, do this." It's like, nope. Lamar said, "My guys, my plays. That's it. Comeback," and we got it. So Lamar has to do that. Lamar literally. I understand he doesn't want to disrespect, but sometimes this is like you got to put the it's Monken with scripted plays. I think some of it is like you said, Chris, but I think also you know what it is? That narrative of the mainstream media on Lamar's head, not to run because he's a quarterback. I mean, dude, like Cam Newton said, just run. Just run. And the other plays, the passing plays will develop alone, because they're going to consider your threat as a runner much more important than your threat as a passer, and that's where you can burn them. And that's it. And that is Lamar football. Literally, that's Lamar football. It's that if you start running a little bit here more and often, and they can stop it, they're gonna say, "Oh, well, it's a Lamar run." It doesn't matter if it's just 2-3 yards or more. If they consider that a threat, you can surprise them. You can just run a bit before the line of scrimmage, and then you can jump past to Likely, to Mandrews, to Bateman, and that will make you the best player on the field, because that's how you burn them. Because he's running. Oh, the safety and the corners are dropping back and they're leaving their coverage. Oh, but he hasn't crossed the line of scrimmage. I can throw. That's it. That's it. That's your ball. That's your style. Because then they will consider they will freeze the moment that you start running towards the line of scrimmage. After a few of those plays, they don't know if to stay in coverage or to go down. They'll freeze in position, and that's where you can take advantage. You can then say, "I can pick their poison." No, my poison, in order for them to actually hurt them. I can take off and I can gain a few more yards, or I can pass and they're freezing and they're like, "Oh, he passed. Oh, say it's over there, wide open." Touchdown. That's it. That's Lamar football. And he has to start doing that. And I think that's what his mother tried to say to him. I'm not cussing at him. like I don't have that authority over him. Defenders don't play him like him. They have. Yeah. It's starting to be backwards, but now he has to run a lot more in order to actually prove that he's still a threat on the run. So I'm gonna drop the link again. Just in case anyone wants to join. Also, it's pinned on the comment section. So hop in. I got no problem. How does Bobby does this? Every day, discussing, having content. Is Bobby even watching? I don't think so. But yeah, I don't know. I think this game, we're gonna see. We're gonna see if the Ravens have learned their lessons. We're gonna see if I don't know. Harbaugh might be a good person. It's just sometimes your philosophy of coaching. You have to. Here's the thing with that one. Do you think Harb still has? I don't think so. By the way that the press conference just went, I think he is losing it. I think we're at the same time that you could say 2012 where he was about to lose the locker room, more so because he wanted to impose his philosophy, but the philosophy is not working. At this point, obviously in the NFL, anyone that tries to be the bully fails. I think that's the difference between Harps and Campbell, because Campbell installed not a bully mentality; he installed a fighter mentality. That's why the Lions turned things quickly in 2-3 years, because Campbell installed a fighter mentality on the Lions, and look at what they have achieved. They're one of the top tier NFC teams in the span of 3 years. From 21 to now, I mean, last year was a really big surprise, but that's the difference between bully mentality and fighter mentality. Campbell has the fighter mentality. Look where they at. They have a bunch of injuries and they're still fighting their ass off. Harbs has had a bunch of injuries and he's still trying to do bully mentality in 21 and didn't respond when Lamar went down, because Lamar is a fighter. He's not a bully. He's a fighter. A fighter wins through punch, kick, grappling, tossing. Harps is just like, I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna pick on. It's like, yeah, and they punch you, and then what? What's it? That's your script? So no. And guess who we have in? Mr. Mike. Hey, what's up, Mike?
Let me see how I can reduce feedback from the background. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. I don't know if the comments can hear you.
You get the light from the opening shining through the bay windows.
I think you think you're good. Yeah.
Okay. So now, my opinion is, I think, Harb is still riding on the success of that past Super Bowl, and those guys like Ed Reed in particular, Ray Lewis, like they were not fucking with Harbs like that,
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of been riding that success of that past Super Bowl and that identity of the Ravens. Like people say, the Ravens defense, you come into Baltimore, you're going to get smacked, but we're just not that team anymore. We don't have the players on defense who are going to impose that, And so I agree there needs to be a change of mentality. We are no longer the bullies. Like people are coming into Baltimore and we're not protecting the house. Coming in the bank and it's no longer a place that people fear to play at, So go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just.
You got to be a change of mindset from going to, hey, we're gonna bully you, and then that just gets teams more riled up because they're like, what you mean? We're grown men too, And if we can't back it up, like I think LeBron last year, I don't know, he ended up eating his words. because he was preaching that, and we don't have the players to back that up. The mindset, that mentality, and you have coaches like Campbell, who were tough players, like people like Tomlin. They're tough coaches. Like, they have that personality. It's not a show. It's not a no. They're really like those guys. They're tough, and they can get their players to play up to that level. Harbs is not that guy. You see on Hard Knocks, like his pregame speech, like, yeah, let's just go out there. And then in contrast, you hear Tomlin. So that's not editing. That's just like what he's giving. That's what he's presenting. And excuse me, it's just not, it doesn't get guys fired up. It doesn't get guys ready to run through a wall. And so I'm personally on the wave, like, Harbaugh can go, because what is he really bringing, to the team? What is he really bringing he doesn't call any plays.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't have any coordinator duties. He's just a figurehead at this point. And time management, horrible. The one thing that a coach is supposed to be on top of.
Yeah.
He's, time management, horrible. Doesn't call any plays. Doesn't inspire guys. And so Lamar Jackson and this team, we have a window, and it's, it doesn't stay open for too long.
Yeah, that's true.
I think if he doesn't get it done this year, it's time for maybe some change in that personnel. I like Monken. I think his offense is still, sometimes he some head scratchers there, but overall, like, I think he calls a good game, and he puts our players in good positions. And he's given Lamar the freedom to, call him up, to make checks and, at the line, and really take over the offense, where I feel comfortable that, if Monken wants to stay, I'll be okay with that. Zach Orr, we see the same trajectory that Mike D had last year. It didn't start off good, until like week 9, like Gibbons was looking a little shaky. But I think, Zach Orr is, he's growing into his own, and we're gonna see with these, with the Steelers game and even Houston, they have a pretty good offense. So, but I think the defense has made that turn. But I think where we are lacking the most is just that leadership from the head coach.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think Harp's philosophy is, I think, like you said, it's writing on the past, but also it's like, if you knew you were going to lose, your big superstars on Ray, on Ed, Terrell, and you didn't develop anyone, and then all of a sudden it's like you're choosing guys that they're not dogs. They don't have that.
So is that more on Harbs or EDC?
I think it's on both.
He has to build that roster, right? He's GM. He's building that roster. He's drafting guys. So, but I think, to your point, I don't think Harbs is nurturing and getting the most out of players. Like, on Hard Knocks, did you see Tomlin talking about him? I'm forgetting who it was. Framework? No, he wasn't the tight end. It was one of their DNs. He's like, "We're preparing you for this role, for this hunter role." All week he's coaching him up, like, we're gonna call on you, and in the game he does, and his player goes out and makes the play. He goes out and gets it done.
We don't see that on Harps.
No, he's keeping guys in the doghouse. We don't even know we don't even know what constitutes somebody getting in the doghouse. All of a sudden you find out.
I think players, even in the Ravens, they don't know and understand what's going on in the doghouse, because like Ben Cleveland said before the start of the season, it's like, well, I've been doing what they've been asking me to do, and I still don't understand why I'm not playing. So what gives?
Cleveland didn't get a chance in the preseason.
Yeah,
He didn't
like
get a chance in
zero
the
chances at
preseason.
right guard, at left guard, only at center, and it's like, but then you say he lost the competition. It's like, that doesn't make sense. Not even to reporters, to us fans, I think not even to other teams. That's
And you
something
got
internal.
the guards playing like trash, and he still hasn't gotten a chance to come in. Like,
Yeah. I mean,
so
let's put it this way. Harp says he's like the old coaches, the old great coaches. But last time I recall, when Andy Reid, when Bill Belichick, when Tony Dungy, when he was head coach at Indianapolis, they changed their players. If someone was at fault, when someone was not working, you out, next man up, and
Yep.
in order for him to actually say, "Hey, you're not good enough," you got to prove it to me next game, not this one.
Not this one. No, his ego. It's like doesn't want to admit that maybe this is not the right move, and instead of getting over his ego and doing what's best for the team, he sticks with his guys. He got his guys, and there's some guys who are in the doghouse, and they will never get a chance to fully develop. And when players leave, this is what was telling to me. When players leave,
Yeah,
Baltimore, great city, great organization, but they have something negative to say about Harps.
yep,
A lot of players end up saying, "Hey, that he's not the guy." From Des Bryant to Marcus Peters, a lot of players end up, coming out in the press and trash talking Harps. But
Yep.
Manny, I gotta hop off. I'm leaving the office right now. I'm gonna be in the car,
yeah. No problem, man.
but I'm here. I'm just gonna log off and head out of here. My whole team just like left on me. I gotta lock up the office.
Hey, no problem. If you want to hop
Great
in,
chatting with you.
yeah, good chatting, man. If you want to hop in, you can do so. I think I'm gonna be another 15 minutes.
Bet. I'll be in
All
the
right.
car listening.
So that was Mr. Mike giving his thoughts, and I agree. It's like Harps. We don't know what constitutes being in a doghouse. We don't know why he's just focused on that bully mentality when bullies are no longer the standard in the NFL. I mean, in the past, you could be a bully because you could land hits very hard and there was no flag. Nowadays, uh, you know, you hit you touch the quarterback, you get a flag. You look at the direction of the quarterback, you get a flag. So you cannot play bully football anymore. The NFL rules don't allow it. You got to be a fighter. So I know Bobby has sponsors. Sponsor of this one is water. Sponsor of today's stream is water. If you have water, don't forget to drink it. 8 glasses of water. Well, because I always drink in big ones. So it's like 3. I usually drink like 5 of those. So, but yeah, don't forget water. So, oh fuck, notifications. Yep, I heard you. So if you wanna still hop in, it's the ping comment. I can drop it if you want to hop in. Just leave your thoughts. You don't need to have the camera, just audio. So with that, I think we got to move a little bit, because we discussed it. Sponsored. Yeah, the next one is going to be coffee. So talking a little bit about general managing, getting those picks and everything. I don't know how the relationship on. Oh, you're at the bar. Oh well, it's Baltimore, so it's like near 7. Yeah, I get it. So I don't understand. Well, we know that Harps and EDC are friends. They're neighbors. I don't know how the relationship at work is with them. If it's more buddy or is the lines defined. I hope it's the second one because then EDC can actually call Harbs, hey, I drafted your players and your players are not delivering. I need answers, or at least I need results from them if you're going to put them in the game. As please, feedback, because that's one of the things is like we all know you don't bring your friendship towards work when work gets difficult. Is like your body can advise you outside of work, hey, you're slacking on this and that. I cannot cover for you if you do this or that. I'm just letting you know. So I just really hope that at least Data C is telling Harbs, hey, we need something else because it's not working. It seems, I don't know if you guys paid attention because what Mike pointed out, in a question, has Harbs lost the locker room? If you have watched The Wire, every time that Harbs starts talking in the locker room after a win, the body language of the players, that tells you a lot about what they think about Harbs' speeches before giving the game balls. They're like, and that, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? They're like, and then when they hear game ball, oh, it's game ball time. Oh, okay, yeah. What does that tell you? They're tired. They're tired of Harbaugh not being or trying to be something he's not to them. I understand it's a younger generation, and you're the same age as my dad, 62. Don't try to be what you're not. They want a figure that motivates him and being a leader. And that means, hey, it's not about being a coach. Yeah, it's what my dad said, that because he coached for 1 year. It's not about sometimes being a coach to these kids. It's about also being a father to them, even if they're grown up. Why? Because what they want is someone they can look up for support and nurturing. It's like, hey, I don't think I'm fit for this role. Okay, let me go personally and see what you're doing wrong at a D-line, at an edge, at linebacker, as a wide receiver. It's like, okay, I'm seeing this. You can say, Harbs, we know he comes from special teams. No, sadly, I rebelled. He's a Dolphins fan. I'm a Ravens fan. So, but if Harbs goes, let's say Rashad has having trouble, not on breaks, but more so on off-script plays. And he tells Harbs, if Harbs goes when wide receivers are practicing, and he says, okay, Rashad, I'm going to help you, like Jim, kind of like Jim. It's like, I don't know about wide receivers that much, but at least I'm trying to see, okay, when you're going off script, you seem too robotic. You're not that loose. Try to do this, try to do that. So, show interest in individuals for making them grow. We saw it, like Mike said, Tomlin is doing that. We're developing you for this role, and I'm going to call your number. I don't see Harbs doing that. I see him just looking at it as like, okay, but you're not going to each position and then saying, hey, okay, showcase me what you guys have learned. Is it good? Is it bad? Okay. That tells me that you have interest in players. Going to each position to see if they're good, if they're bad. If I recall on my 8 years of playing football over here in Mexico, every time my head coach would go to each position group, test us within our position group, put us in competition. Wide receivers versus cornerbacks, linebackers versus running backs, D line versus O line, and see how much each player has grown and each group has grown as a team, as a unit. I don't see that from Harves. I want to see that from him. If you just do that, if you start to see, hey, okay, everybody's doing, let's say the D line or the edges, the outside linebackers. Okay, I'm seeing everybody excel at bull rush except, I don't know, Owe. Okay, Owe's not exceeding at bull rush. Can we develop him more as, that speed guy with, speed techniques so he can get over the O-line fast and get the sacks, or at least the pressure in order for the others to complement? No. Lost it. Okay, Mike. Okay. Yeah, but that's the thing. I don't see that from Harps going in and making his rounds. We have seen it in the preseason that he just stares back like Ozzy is like, no. I think also it would gain points. I understand Eric, staying at a distance because he has to negotiate. But if he shows that the general manager is also interested in seeing how his players have developed, in order for him, let's say, okay, I don't want to form, personal relationship with his players as much because sometimes I got to trade them. Sometimes I just can't extend them. Okay, no issue. But if you show interest and if you if you go individually and see how each group performs in front of your eyes instead of at a distance, then you can see what you can sell to other teams. It's like, hey, he might not be good at this, but I've been seeing that he kind of have a spark here and there about, this talent. Are you interested? I mean, it ain't that hard to process, and they're calling us the guys at the end of the bar or outside the bar. Yeah, I think I don't need to watch Hard Knocks to understand why Tomlin has an edge over Harbaugh, because Tomlin, I think he has a degree on psychology that they said that Tomlin has. And he's using that degree to actually know how to poke his players to actually perform as he wants them to perform, especially on defense. Why has the defense always respond to Tomlin? Because he knows how to poke it. Maybe he doesn't know how to poke the offense as well as he can on the defense, but at least he knows how to poke the defense, to keep them alive, to keep that perfect streak of never losing a fucking season. So that just tells you, it's like, I may not know how to poke the offense, but I know how to poke the defense, and that's keeping us alive well enough so I don't have the losing record. That's it. And I understand Harps has his school, of coaching, take notes. It's like you have the school. It's like me having a small refrigerator beside my couch for game day, but never using it for me to actually because I go up and go to the other refrigerator, the main one that has the beers, instead of putting the beers at the small one for game day. Just as an example. He just keeps it real. Yeah. Because he lets them be. And I think if y'all remember the clashes that Ray and Ned and Terrell had with Harps, it's because of that. Harps views leadership in a very different way than players do. And it's not working. I understand that their parents have taught them in one way, but a real coach, and he can ask his dad, a real coach adapts becomes versatile, sees what the players are, and they don't mold them to their being. They just say, okay, let's coexist. That's what you have to do. You have to coexist, not force. If you coexist with your players, then you can grow together. And if you can't do that, then your players will reflect it. Maybe they don't say it, but their body language and their actions do. And that tells you a lot. The perfect example on it, the past head coach of the LA Chargers. Well, we haven't lost by a lot. The players didn't say a word to the media. Next game, they lost by a lot because we're tired about this guy. Hey, let's play shitty. We don't have to say it. Let's just play shitty. And they did it, and he got fired. What's to say that at one point, the players snapped against Harb's philosophy? Let's hope it doesn't reach to that point, that they can actually talk it over and, instead of Harb's forcing his way on his, it's like, no. It's like teams' philosophies have changed. Everybody knows it. Green Bay Packers philosophy has changed over the years. Bears, the Lions right now, the Chiefs, Colts, Patriots, all winning teams have changed their philosophy at one point and another. Losing teams remains the same. What has to keep the Ravens afloat is just the talent that they have brought, and sometimes they just go off script. I mean, Lamar is a prime example. It's like there's sometimes he doesn't listen to Harbs, and he takes over the game, and he keeps us afloat. So we're approaching the hour. I don't know if anyone else wants to hop in or has another comment, something to discuss. Another sponsor of the video. Because the only sponsor right now is water. Not in any case, I don't know. I thought Bobby was going to hop in the comments. I think Bobby hasn't hopped in the comments. Hey, this might be a refresher, New Bobby, new head coach. We're just missing a new Sarah, just in case. Oh, hey, Tila. Hey, if you want to hop in, pin comment. You don't require video, just audio. On a flight? Oh, Bobby? Yeah. Well, we need an update on the Madison situation, so we don't know if they're no longer going to be. I don't think they work together, but be together. Hey, you're welcome aboard. You're welcome aboard, Tila. I'll sign you right now. Yeah, let's make it. So, hey, don't matter. We're here. We're a community. I think within a community we can trust. We can talk trash amongst ourselves because sometimes we can handle it. But we don't let other communities just talk trash to us. As they're Snapchat buddies now. Oh, that's the worst. Yeah, it's over. It's over for Bobby.
Hello.
And I see Mr. Mike.
Yes, sir.
Mr.
I'm back.
Mike.
I'm back.
Made a comeback, Mr. Mike.
There's one thing I wanted to say, and you just touched on it, is the change in philosophy, right?
Yeah.
That teams have made over time. Like we're no longer that defensive team because since Lamar took over, 2019 highest scoring offense,
Yep.
uh, breaking records. Even now, we're always on pace. It's the offense, right? And so, what's one thing if you have a great offensive team? Don't lose the lead.
Yep.
Once you build a lead, protect that lead on defense. And
Yep.
what do we see on last Sunday? Not this past one, but 2 weeks ago with the Eagles. 9-0,
Yeah.
we are up, and we let them come back. It's that mentality that Harbs is just not building in these players to understand that, like, once you're playing with the lead, especially a 2-point lead, not a 2-score lead, protect that. In the fourth quarter, how many games in the last 2 years have we lost while having a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter?
Shit, I lost count, man.
Too many to fucking count. Too many to count, and that's unacceptable.
Yep.
Like the small things that Harb as a head coach is just supposed to be there and just he panics. And like what we were talking about, what me and Chris were talking about loss is that look that he has on the sideline. He just looks bewildered. Like once things start going bad, I think his energy just spreads to the players. He doesn't remain calm and collected and say, "Hey, we got this. That was just a mistake." No, it's just like a parasite that just spreads to the players
Yeah.
because he's panicking from his play calling, from the way he's calling timeouts. It's like a parasite that just spreads, man, and it makes me mad. So like when I say lost and like that DB in looking the other way when the ball's
Yeah.
coming this
Yeah.
way, yeah, just that's Harbs, man. That's Harbs, and I think if first round exit in the playoffs, which is looking like it might happen, depending on who we play. There gotta be a conversation like what is he there for?
I don't know. At this point, I don't know because when he was brought in, he was just to calm the situation down and manage because the real leaders were there. It was Ray,
Yeah,
it was Ed, it was Terrell. In a sense of way, it was Nana. So the leaders were on the defense because on offense you had no one. There was no talent. Jamal Lewis was out. Willis McGahee, he was on the run out. Also, Lerone McClain was in his last seasons. So
yeah. But it's like he benefited, like, okay, with the new quarterback Flacco and Ray Rice dropped the same year, like a new head coach, that new fire from Brian Billick. Like it was like okay, and you can see they made the playoffs.
yeah,
Next year, I think we made the AFC Championship. So you can see promise because they were trying to go out on a high note, man. They were trying to get
yeah,
that championship, and then with them losing in that was like all the players saying, you know what, next year we saw where we want to be and we fell short, and that 2012 season they will a Super Bowl.
yeah, yeah. I was present on that
Okay.
AFC Championship game on New England, and it
Mhm.
was
Like
we were
they were like,
down.
man, we gotta get this. So it wasn't because our coach
Yeah,
that we won that Super Bowl. And so now, from 2015, where you have the first exit or second round, first round, we had a great team. And the last year, almost making it right there at home.
oh, we lost him. Shit, that wasn't me. We lost him. I think we lost his signal. Uh, hey Mike, if you're watching on YouTube, you can still hop in. But yeah, he's right. It's like Ray, Ed, and Terrell were just trying to go out on a high note, and once they went on a high note, it was off. You had no leaders. Um, if you remember when we drafted C.J. Mosley, it was because we didn't have a replacement from Ray. As like the organization never thought, hey, once Ray's gone, do we have someone at least close to his level for us to depend on defense? 2013 said no. That's why we drafted Mosley. And then it took time for Mosley to develop because we were trying to hurry him up for as much as he had the talent. It's still, I think it was 2016 that he started to shine as a possible close to Ray Lewis. And then when he was his contract year, we chose to let him go. And we didn't have an answer. It's like we had, I think it was Peanut. Y'all remember Peanut? 48? And he wasn't ready because for as much as he had the eagerness to fill that role, Peanut wasn't ready because he wasn't instructed on. He was let down. Hey, Mike, I understand. Verizon? I don't know if T-Mobile is still trash over there. But yeah, things the Ravens need to change. Philosophy, no more bully, a fighter. Campbell's philosophy of being a fighter, I mean, look at the results. Can the Ravens be a fighter team? Of course they can. It's the new identity because the offense is the one producing points and the defense is leaking. Oh, speaking about leaking, I think it's time to say, not bye to Tucker, but God, Verizon is just a stretch to Alabama. All right. Let's just say that we are on a hard reality course if Tucker decides to retire this year. Well, not this year, ending this year, this season. We don't have a kicker. We literally don't have an alternative to Tucker. And that's not only on Harps, but also on ADC. If you're starting to see that at the end of last year, Tucker, is missing kicks, hey, we're going to keep him, but we need to draft or get an undrafted kicker to start getting ready to replace Tucker because we don't know when he's going to fall, Not physically, but just saying mentally. When is the cleave going to happen? And we're starting to see it this season. It has cost us games. You don't have a second kicker. Or hell, you haven't even tried Stout as a kicker in case, Tucker needs to adjust something mentally and just, hey, Stout switch positions with Tucker. Tucker grabs the ball and you kick it, until Tucker can get mentally adjusted to what's happening, just in case. I don't see that. And that's, who falls on? The head coach. The head coach is responsible. If Harps is a special teams guy, he should have known. It's not just, pat on the back, Tucker. It's like, Stout, I want you to try kicks. I need you to get ready just in case. In case, Tucker needs a break, a mental break, and you go in and kick, and he just holds in order for him to actually, say, hey, I can get back in the game, get motivated and all of that. That's your responsibility, Harps. I mean, you gotta. What's the famous phrase of Engraven? Stay ready so you ain't gotta get ready. Right now, you're not ready. So you have to get ready. On the fly with nothing. Yep. Yeah, I agree. I feel like Seth should be able to do it. Yep. Yep. But you know what? It's Harp's. I don't know if it's harsh stubbornness on everything has to be like I planned and it has to work. It's like if you have a plan and it fails, because Harp's, he has somewhat of a, well, he doesn't have military background, but he's like a military fan because of the brown shirt with the seals. If I recall, General Patton said, you can script the best plan ever. Once you had first contact, the plan goes right out the window. Why? Because everything you had scripted goes off script. And I don't see Harms ready for that first contact. So that means you have to change your philosophy. You have to change the way you see the sport. Right now, the sport is about speed, agility, and talent. Your defense does not, you can't play bully football. What does bully football depend? Hit strong, hit hard with how you want, You can't do that anymore. You gotta play smart, not play hard. That's why I want to implement my philosophy on the Ravens. That's why, over here, it says, new Ravens head coach. Even though it started as a joke, hey, I'm up for it because the Ravens needed a real change of mentality, of philosophy. It's no longer bully football. It's fighter football. We're fighting for the trophy using the ability to adapt and our versatility within our talent. Protecting feelings instead of doing what's best for the team long term. Hart doesn't know what. Yeah, I don't know about that one. Hell, that kick, that second kick that he missed on the Eagles game, I would have gone to the Tucker and I would have said, "What's up?" Instead of patting him in the back, I would say, it's like, explanation, nothing, be the holder, stout kick. I would have made the change right then and there because that tells me it's not that I lose confidence on Tucker. It's just you're not working right now. You're not helping us. You're harming us. I love Tucker, but right now Tucker is hurting Tucker. The more he misses the kicks, the more his legacy is tarnished. He might have the record, but everybody looks at the end of your career. And if you're starting to declive this fast, I'm sorry. It's like they're going to say, oh, well, he was the best at one time. And then at the end of his career, he was so bad that he had to retire instead of, oh, he retired because of an injury. Or he retired because he made, let's say he made a 68, or just for shits and giggles, a 69-yard field goal. He retired after the 69 field goal. So, but at least he did it on a high note, not on a very low note. So Tucker's hurting Tucker. I would have changed, Stout instead of the holder, the kicker. Tucker instead of the kicker, the holder. Practice in order for, because you're not right here. And what you need is a mental reset. Yes, the bye is coming, but if I get reps on Stout, at least Stout can build confidence when his number is called. So unless he kicks us to win a Super Bowl. Yeah, but that was 2012. against the Broncos. Not now. I don't see it right now. He has to. You got to prove to me, man. Excuse me, bruh. If y'all recall that meme from Zoolander, excuse me, bruh. But you gotta prove it to me, bruh. So let's get on with it. Mike, I don't know if you wanna, one last try. If AT&T lets you, if not, I'm gonna just call it. Let's just hope Bobby comes soon. Man, a lot of things. Oh, one last thing. I think before we end it, I don't know what up with Deontay. I really don't know. I think that's one of the mysteries that is going to remain a mystery until Deontay retires. Or Deontay comes up with a story, because I don't see it. So I don't see what the issue was. I mean, he said he didn't want to play, but my question is why he didn't want to play. Was it because he wasn't going to be the target? Or was he expected to do something that I don't know? Obviously, that doesn't help Deontay's case, but it also makes me question more so, Harbs is like, okay, but why did you put Nelly? You got another hungry dude, Tylan Wallace. I think was Deontay Hardy? Was Hardy activated? Because if he was activated, you could use him also as a wide receiver. It's like, I understand Nelly, the Florida connection, but Nelly's 30. He doesn't have that youthfulness. He still has a dog, but he doesn't have the youthfulness that we require in some of those plays that he was required to. So Tyler was sure hands. Hardy, speed. So the mystery, one of the mysteries of the Harbs Ravens. So I'm guessing Mike is having trouble. Mike, you having trouble? If you're having trouble connecting, we understand. So on that note, I'm just going to leave the link again. If anyone wants to hop in, have the thoughts. If not, if you don't see the pin comment, there it is. Yeah. God damn it, notifications from work. Anyhow. My prediction for the Giants game. I think I'll just save it. If Bobby returns, I'm going to save it. I'm going to save it until Bobby's back with my situational score prediction. But I think it all depends on two factors. Lamar runs. No, not Lamar runs. Lamar plays Lamar football. And Harbs letting the team play, instead of bully football, fighter football, because that's what they need. They need that. Fighter football, not bully football. Oh, yes, we better come out swinging. But you know what? Let me put it this way. Gervonta is not a boxer. Gervonta is a fighter. Gervonta's style of fighting, it's almost kind of street-like. Even though he's a professional boxer and he has learned boxing, but his real style of boxing is almost like street boxing. And that's why it makes Gervonta so dangerous. So imagine Gervonta learning how to kick, learning how to grapple, how to toss. He would actually be one of the greatest fighters in the UFC. If he ever wants to transition to the UFC, after he learns how to kick, grapple, and toss, Gervonta would be one of the best fighters ever in the UFC. Hands down. Why? Because he always fights like a street dog. Yes, I understand that he hits hard, Chris, but he's not a boxer, he's a fighter. And fighters look for ways to win. If something is not working, they adapt and they use their talents to be versatile on it in order to adapt quickly. I don't see Harbs doing that. You got a school, you open up a school of coaching and you don't use that. It's like, okay, my players are doing that. And, I'm tired of listening to him. Okay, what do I do? It's like, maybe no speech, maybe just game balls so the players speak for themselves because they already know what happens. It's like, what was it, close win that he said that was a great win when everybody knew? I think it was with the Bengals. It's like, yeah, you fought, but that wasn't a great win. That was a survival win. So instead of saying it was a great win, it's like, hey, we just win the game however we could. There's still a lot to work on, and we know it. Don't praise it as a great win because that's not a great win. So I think a great win was Buffalo. That's it. I don't know. Change in philosophy. That's what I've been preaching. Change of philosophy. No more bully football. I want fighter football. Adapt and be versatile. Don't be the bully. Be the fighter. Fighters win. Bullies don't. I know that because when I fought my bullies, I punched them and they didn't punch back. That tells you that anyone trying to be the bully in the sport fails. So, I don't see Julian. Julian ain't on. Is Julian at work? I think he's at work. But in any case, I think I'm going to end this. I didn't have that problem. I was a bully to the bullies. Oh, well. Hey. When I had my my issues, they never fought back. Every time that I got tipped. The sad reality, you know what it was, Chris, is that even though I defended myself against the bullies and I punched them and then never punched back, but I was the one getting punished because I punched the bully. And that was a big, it seemed like at those schools, and that was the environment is like you don't fight the bullies. And that's why I got punished in those schools that I was. And it's like bullshit. It's like if you don't fight bullies, the bullies are gonna reign. And I don't want that. So but yeah, and that's why Harbs needs to change it. You gotta be a fighter, not a bully. You gotta be a fighter. So, I'm gonna end the stream. Let's just hope Bobby comes back safe and sound. We can have the afternoon ones. If you want, hey, you can share this video, of what we discussed over here. So, hey, thanks, Chris. But yeah, hey, like and share this one for more, discussions when Bobby doesn't come. I can take over just a little bit, open up the channel so we can, pour our thoughts on this. So, hey, it's not taken away from Bobby or Sarah. They're doing a great job. It's just, their lives are busy because they have lives. They're not robots. So I'm just doing this, to help out. So in any case, like and share the Volt content, Bobby Baltimore's content. If you want to share this Ravens live stream, do it. Until then, stay safe. Take care of yourself, your loved ones. Big trust, man.